Focus Warrior Podcast. John and Aaron with you, bro. That song is fire, dude. I love our intro song, man. Good choice, brother.
Thanks, man. Look, it had to go with the same theme. It's a dedicated to Jay. He loved his rap and his gangster rap and stuff. So I still wanted to go with the same theme. But hey, man, we're in a new season. We needed to
New
freshen it up.
season,
Yeah,
new music, new vibe, new mindset. Whew, bro. And I don't even want to
and
say new.
yeah,
I don't know if it's a new mindset. I think it's just an elevated version of where we were last year. You know what I mean?
absolutely, absolutely. I think a lot more accountability on ourselves. We're holding each other a lot more
Mm,
accountable on the shit that we've got to get done every day. And you know what? As much as it's like, fuck, we don't like accountability. We don't like being told what to do. But at the end of the day, if you're telling someone your goals and dreams and, what you're intending on doing and you don't live up to that and you're not holding yourself accountable, you got your bros around you that are doing it for you. So I appreciate you for doing that and holding me accountable on that front. So, bro, I think this actually leads in really nicely to what the conversation is today.
yeah, man. I want to get right into it, Aaron. I want to know, why do we worry? I mean, I have so many ideas, thoughts behind this, but this just hit me right before we turned on these microphones, man. And I have some thoughts on it, bro. But what are your initial thinking? Why do we worry?
I I see it from a few camps. I'm going to look at it from my own personal camp, and my own personal opinion is that high achieving man, the life that I want to create. I worry because am I doing enough? I worry because at the end of the day, it's like, did I do enough to get me where I needed to be? I worry about obviously, the life, the bills, you're talking about rent, you're talking about, and I've got rent from a couple of places. You've got rent for your own place or mortgage if you own your own home. You've got bills, I've got rental with the gym that I'm in as well. You've got car payments, you've got all these things. And when you make a life change and a life change into working for yourself, there is a lot more stress we put on ourselves because again at the end of the day, like, we want to be the provider. We want to be able to provide for our family. We don't want to have
Mm.
to worry about, fuck, where's our rent coming from next week. So for me it's like, I look at it from that side of it. The high achieving man, have I done enough in order for me to move forward personally and business wise? And then you can look at it from the other side of it is we worry because of the life that we have. We worry for the lack of. We look at
Mm.
it and even though deep down we know we're deserving of more, but we look at it and go, oh, this is the best that it's going to get. Average, mediocrity, all that side of it. So, men, that's what we do. I mean, you just have a look at the last 4 years, bro. The last 4 years when the world shut down. Look what happened
Yes.
here in Australia. I mean, the suicide rates were just absolutely insane because men lost their jobs. And when they lost their jobs, they couldn't put food on the table. And I
You lose
actually knew,
everything. Mhm.
yeah. And I don't know what it was like in the States, but I heard stories here in Australia that men were actually committing suicide so their life insurance could support their family.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%, bro. I'm closer connected to somebody similar that had that happen to them. It's crazy.
Mm,
And to your point, Aaron, I like that you started with the high achieving man as one of our subjects, right? I will say there's another type of person, whether man or women are alike, overthinking men and women.
mm, mm,
The overthinker, bro. And I have friends like this. I used to be that guy where I couldn't make a decision, Aaron. And it wasn't, and again, this is not the overthinker, and this is not what I'm saying they do. But I know for me personally, as an overthinker, I would say, okay, I'm going to try to control this situation without, and this was subconsciously. If this happens, then this is what's going to happen. And then if I go this way, this is going to happen. And if I go this way, this is going to happen. What
mm.
would happen, Aaron, is it wouldn't ever turn out exactly like that, which would even put me more on edge, put me more in survival mode, where I would feel like, why? Why is this not happening exactly as I drew it up? So then, guess what? I would stay in my state of stress, worry, frustration, anger, fear. And dude, my understanding, again, I'm just kind of learning this more recently in a book that I'm listening to right now, is that you're only supposed to stay in that state for a short amount of time. it's not a long term, you're not supposed to stay in survival mode for
Mm,
very long. Your brain can't handle that, bro. And so when you are, guess what happens? You're no longer present in the moment. You're now looking off into the future. Oh, and if you're doing that and then you're watching the news, oh, dude, you're literally just feeding yourself more ammo to stay in survival mode forever, dude. So I think the overthinker, man, is one of those groups that we have to talk about because again, I know that firsthand because it's an ugly feeling, Aaron. And when it creeps up, man, I really do have to check myself and just go, you know what? Can I just enjoy the moment? And dude, it doesn't even, Aaron, it doesn't have to always be enjoying the moment, dude, but can
mhm.
you just be in whatever moment it is, whether it's a stressful moment, whether it's a great moment, can you be there? Instead of going, Aaron, man, I'm stressed about September, dude. I don't know what I'm going to do about this. Man, we can't do that to ourselves, bro, because now we're robbing time away from what's going on currently. And to your point, you realize you have a lot more than you think you do when you just take a step back and go, damn, you know what? I have all I need. If I if I if if I couldn't buy any more clothes, we'll just say for example, could I survive on what I have? Hell yeah.
Mm.
Because most of the time, you realize, and this is the other thing I heard, most people wear only 20% of what's there in their closet anyway.
So
The other
true.
80% sits there and collects fucking dust. And I know I was guilty of that too, bro.
Yeah.
Until you start moving out shit and realizing that you don't need to hoard everything, including what's in your mind, you don't move. And that's the part, bro, I want to definitely just, shout out as well.
I actually love that. I love where you're going with the overthinker. And when you're in your own mind, you've tracked out or you've laid out the path of your actions and the possible end result. And the one thing that I have learnt, and I don't know if you're going through this yourself, but the one thing I've learnt is that if I did like, and whatever the outcome is, I tend to used to look at it from the worst case scenario. And whatever I needed to do with the worst case scenario is that it would never be the result that I wanted at the end of the day. And then I kind of built up some courage, built up the courage, and I trusted in what was coming to me, like the emotions and the thoughts that were coming to me. So if I trusted in just doing what's coming to me in that moment, and like you're saying, it's in that moment and not overthinking it and not sort of drawing up a story in your own head of a possible outcome, when in that moment you just act on it, if it didn't work, it didn't work. You're acting
Mm,
on it with a few rules in place. Is it going to hurt you or is it going to hurt anyone around you? If it's not good, then
right.
fucking jump in and let's see what happens. The worst case scenario, if it didn't work out the way that you didn't plan, and it didn't hurt anyone, what's the worst case scenario? You're still in the same place. So I think the biggest thing
And
for me
yeah.
yeah, the biggest thing for me was to really just trust in what my intuition was saying and trust on what was coming through me and whatever thought, whatever emotion it was. But I actually love the thing for you is like in that moment, like be in that moment, be present in that moment, enjoy what you have around you. The problem that I see with a lot of men is the distraction. They will distract themselves
Oh,
with either the phone, they'll distract themselves with TV, they'll distract themselves, scrolling porn, whatever it is. There's a distraction, or they'll go outside for a cigarette, or they'll have alcohol. And both you and I don't drink anymore. And both you
right.
and I absolutely feel and know the difference from when we are distracting ourselves with alcohol to when we're not. Like we feel our emotions a lot more. We are a lot more present. We're a lot more intentional in the actions that we take. So the one thing that I've noticed with a lot of men is that not brave enough to make those choices that they know they need to make. And when they know they need to, and whether or not they're faced with fear or they're faced with uncertainty, anxiety, depression, whatever they're faced with, they want to distract themselves from that emotion and not let that emotion feel through. So, yeah, it's a really, really interesting place right now with where men are at. But I actually think a lot more men now are starting to get a little bit tired of mediocrity,
Yeah.
averageness, being told what to
Yeah.
do, and starting to speak out, starting to actually live in their own truth. And I think that's a real key moving forward.
Yeah, dude, and you're 100% right. One thing that you had said just a few minutes ago was talking about what we think is going to happen. And when you arrive at that moment and it's not what you think, you then start going, you question it, right? You start questioning the validity of it.
Mm.
Well, yeah, that's because this happened. Or the only reason why this didn't happen is because this didn't happen, right? You start validating why you were thinking that way, making sure you were 100% right. I got news for you, Aaron. You and I are not always right, bro. And the
Oh.
truth is, man, is I'm going to say this. When you can accept that, that's a superpower, bro. Men don't realize that, especially just being men ourselves. It's taken me a long time, bro, to realize and have to just check myself and humble myself just as a man, as a human being, and go, you know what? I don't have all the damn answers.
Mm.
I don't know everything about everything. But you know what? I do know is what I've been through. That's what I can speak on. I don't have expertise in every single thing. I don't have a law degree. I don't have a doctorate degree. I don't have any of that. All I know is I have a story to share. And it's brought me to this place right here, right now, where I'm talking to you guys. And that's it. That's all I have. That's all I'm working with. Right. And of course, I want more knowledge. Of course, I'm learning and I'm growing and I'm developing. I'm never stopping. Right. But Aaron, most people think they're good where they're at.
Mm.
And that those are the people that's scary because you get real dormant, you get real stuck, and then you start accepting whatever it is that is your current life. And bro, it's like we've said before in our pod, if that's your life and that's what you love,
Mm.
it's
Mm.
completely fine, but you're just on the wrong podcast because that's not what we talk about here, right? But to your point, Aaron, it's being mindful of those people that are listening to us. They're like, what are John and Aaron going to talk about that are going to help me get the hell out of this freaking four walls in my head that's telling me this bullshit lie that's not real. That hasn't even happened yet, but I'm already worried about September because I'm freaking out because I have a trip and I have to lose 15 pounds and I have to this and I have to that and I have to buy new clothes bro, if we're not starting that process now, meaning what do I need to do between now and September? What needs to happen? Well, number one, I know my nutrition needs to get right. I know my workouts need to get right. And you know what? If I don't have the money for my clothes right for September, I probably need to tuck away a few bucks here and there and maybe just start small. Maybe I get one thing at a time. So by the time September comes, I'm ready. But people want instant. The week before I go on a trip, I want to get everything. The week before I trip, I want to magically lose 15 pounds. It doesn't work like that, Aaron. And I think that's where the worry comes in, brother.
I agree. You can't solve a problem with the mind that created it, is what
Mm,
I kind of live by as well. And you only know what you know. And I like what you said before is that, I'm going to piggyback off a few of the things that you said is that, like, if you love the life that you have, awesome. But I really want you to, I want you to go in a little deeper. And by meaning going in a little deeper, I really want you to sit there in silence and ask yourself, are you truly happy? Truly happy with the life that you have? You truly happy with what you've created? And find out what comes up. And if it doesn't, then this is like the worry comes in that, and our worthiness comes in as well. We're not worthy. And
worthiness.
yeah,
Nice, bro.
insecurity comes in, again, the comparison comes in, then all of a sudden, we've talked about this on pods before, the internal, external gratification, all of the shit starts to fucking crumble. And then we start getting into not necessarily anxiety perspective, because that's obviously worrying about the future. We start getting into a depressive state. And a lot of men do feel it. Like we do feel our emotions. The problem is society has shunned men from expressing emotions. So hence, this is another reason why we'll put this together is that we want to have that safe space for men to come to and go, you know what, fuck, bro, we get you. Because we've been through it. We've been through the darkness and we're still in darkness in certain aspects of what we do every day, but we do find a way through it. And what I do is that I look at exactly what you're saying, being in this present moment, like what have I got to be grateful in this moment right here, right now? I don't sit for ages in that
Mm.
thought, but it just comes to me. And if as long as I've got that thought of what am I grateful for today, that's enough for me to move forward. And then I'll look at, okay, and then I've a part of obviously my programs, and this is how I live. Like, what's my hit list? What are the 5 things that I need to be achieving today in order for me to move forward, not only as a man, but also in business? What do I need to hold myself accountable to every single day to make me control what's going on in my head. And this is about the movement. This is about, whether it be the meditation, this is staying in that present moment, surrounding yourself with people that you love, that you can laugh with, and that you can learn from. So when you start looking at creating your life that way, then you start looking at going, okay, well, fuck, what is actually possible? Where can I go with this? What life can I actually create? You start having a little bit more belief about what your ability is. And the one thing, if there's one thing anyone takes away from this podcast today, is that every single one of us is more powerful than we think. Every single one of
Ooh.
us has the ability to create whatever life we want. The only thing that holds us back is your own courage and ability of what you're truly worth and what people around you are telling you. Now, if you're listening to people around you, controlling your every move, don't do that because this will happen. Don't do this. And it's like, no, if you do this, you're going to look like that. If you're listening to other people around you, whether it be government, friends and family, loved ones, they're holding you hostage. They are keeping you stuck. So once you start to remove emotions from all of that, and then you start tuning into what you truly deserve, when you look at it from that perspective, and all of a sudden you start going, oh shit, there's some things that need to change. I mean, that goes into obviously a whole heap of other things, and we can talk about that in another podcast. But the one thing that I tend to look at, yeah, I've got worry. Fuck, I've got worry in the world. Absolutely. I don't even know how I'm going to pay for rent next week. We've got the worry. But the one thing I can control is this moment right here, right now. Am I doing enough that's
Yes.
going to not make me worry about what's going to happen next week?
Yeah. Yeah, dude. And like you say, man, I think the more action that goes behind that, that's what puts your mind at ease to going, you know
Mm,
what? I did enough in this moment or in this day that allowed me to get to that, next day and feel maybe a little bit better than I did yesterday.
mm,
And then pretty soon it starts to diminish a little bit, right? But bro, one of the things that you really called out, man, and I want to go back to just a real quick second is worthiness, is self-worth. And bro, this is how I always test this, especially with people that I talk to, whether it's me coaching, whether it's just friends. What the homework that I give is when it comes to worthiness, how do you accept a compliment? Do you freeze up?
mm.
Do you tense up? Do you not feel like you're worthy of it? Or do you automatically give a compliment back to take all the attention off of you? Think about that for a minute, Aaron, and everybody
Man,
listening too. How do you take a compliment? That determines your self-worth because if you get embarrassed, you don't really believe that you're worthy of that. So what do? You'll turn around and give one right back to deflect. Oh, I don't really want the spotlight on me. I don't know. I don't deserve this. No, I don't deserve all this recognition and this awards and this that. I don't deserve that. Who else wants to come up and speak? Then you're not really in the place that you're speaking,
oh,
right?
fuck.
There's two
That's
different levels that are going in north and south, man. But if you can say confidently, "Thank you," that means a lot. I really appreciate you saying that, bro. It's not that you're expecting the compliment, but you feel good in the sense of going, you know what, my hard work is paying off.
right.
People actually are telling me that I am good in whatever it is, whatever space it
Yeah,
is, whether it's just a
yeah.
compliment about what your hair looks like. Women are really good at that. Your outfit, what you did for the day at work, dude. If you can just accept that and keep on moving, dude, it's legit, man.
That's real, man. As soon as you said that, I'm like, holy fuck, I used to do that for fucking years. Someone would give
Yeah.
me a compliment and I'm going, nah, nah. Like,
Nah,
yeah,
nah. Yeah,
like
yeah.
absolutely. Like, especially if it was for bodybuilding, you're looking really good. Nah, I'm not fucking, I'm fat, especially if I'm getting ready for a comp.
Hmm.
Or, it doesn't matter what they are, yeah, it doesn't matter what they're saying. Doesn't matter for what reason, whether it be business, like, whatever. I'd always, again, I'd deflect, but I wouldn't normally put it back to them. I'd just go, nah, and I'd change the story. And I really love that you brought that up. You know how fucking long it took me just to even say thank you to a compliment. But as soon as I started saying thank you to a compliment, everything changed. Like
Yeah.
my own worthiness changed. How I saw other people changed because I needed, and what I did is that someone's giving me a compliment. I needed to put myself in their shoes. How would they feel if I turn around and go, nah, you're full of shit? How would,
Right. Right.
how would they feel? So if I gave you a compliment and you go, nah, you're full of shit, and go, really? Do you really think I'm full of shit?
Yeah.
How do you think? Yeah. So I needed to put myself in their shoes and go, well, how would they feel if I threw it back at their face? I'm like, oh fuck. Okay.
Yes.
Well, maybe I wouldn't feel too good, and I'm not going to give you another compliment because I'm thinking that oh, you're just an asshole. So
Yeah.
I had to work really hard just to say thank you. That one response, thank you. Don't take it any further. Um,
Yeah. You don't have to.
no. So for me, it was really hard as a man. But again, that's just getting in touch with your authenticity, getting in touch with your truth, getting in
Yes,
touch with
bro.
your, just the random act of kindness. And all I'm doing is I'm just giving a nice response back, going, "Thank you so much for your compliment. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your kind words." How does it make
Yeah.
you feel as a man when you start saying that? But at the same time, this is going into another. We could have a whole podcast on this.
Yeah, yeah. We don't need to go there.
No, but think about this. Think about this, that if someone gave you a compliment and you turned around and said, thank you, I really appreciate the compliment, or thank you for your kind words, how does that make you look as a man?
Mm,
A fucking leader?
yeah.
Know your shit, like you're standing in your masculinity,
Yes.
you know who you are, all of these amazing things, and you're like, holy fuck. And then you kind of look at going, all right, well, this has given me the confidence to actually now go, okay, now I can start doing the things I need to do because I'm not worrying about other people's opinions. And as you get older, you don't give a fuck about anyone else's opinion anyway, because you do what you know you need to do for your own to better your life.
And you realize dude, that's exactly what the blueprint is, man. What we've been talking about, Aaron, that I think is finally starting to hit on all cylinders, is what it means to be that type of man, right?
Mm,
It's not beating on your freaking monkey chest and acting like a fool, right? It's not that.
yeah, right.
It's just, can you do these little things where you don't look like a jerk and you're, oh yeah, no, that's no big deal. I don't, dude, don't discount somebody else like that.
Yeah.
Like you say, put yourself in their shoes, just like you were talking about, brother. And to your point, man, when you do that, it makes you feel good in the sense of, hey, I'm stepping into the man that I know I am. Therefore, I'm going to keep doing the things that I need to be doing so that I can continue that momentum.
Mm,
And dude, that's all it is. It's a day-to-day thing, Aaron. As we know, man, we're carving out this massive statue of a man. It's one day at a time. It's one carve at a time. It's one bullshit story at a time. It's one great story at a time. All this stuff is part of it, man. And so the more that we realize that we're on this journey for however long we're above dirt, that's all we know, man, and that's all we got. So the worry part has to go out the window. Because one of the things I'll say, man, is if you and I, if this is our last recording, and we don't make it to tomorrow, at least I said what I said tonight. I did what I needed to do all day today. I showed up. I did what I was supposed to all day. I feel good. I feel like, hell yeah, I did it. I accomplished it. Now I have all this extra time where I can fill it in with more. I can take that to the next level. And bro, that's honestly, dude, that's what helps me lay my head down at night, knowing that I was actually doing all the things I said I did. And bro, at the end of the day, man, that's what builds the confidence and
yeah.
it allows you to say thank you with no issues, brother.
Hello. Fucking amen to that, brother. Dude, what a way to finish, man. What a way to finish.
Yeah.
I know that people got value out of this, and all we ask is for you to share this. So share it with someone who you think's going to benefit from this. We have jumped onto YouTube. We're trying something a little bit different. We're doing a whole heap of shorts and stuff. So just support us along the way. We'd love to hear your comments. And if you're feeling a little stuck, just either reach out to myself or John. We're all here to help each other. And small little random acts of kindness go a big way in this world. So. Thank you, man. I appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely, brother. Back at you. Hey, just like the old song, don't worry, be happy. That's a pretty easy way to do it, brother.
Oh, dude, that brings back memories, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Fuck,
Hell yeah, man.
that's an
Hell
old
yeah.
song. That's an old song.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, everyone. I appreciate you tuning in. And John, you have yourself an amazing evening. I'm gonna go smash out my day. Let's fucking go
Back at you,
until
bro.
next week, until you hear from us again. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you.
Take care, guys.